Let's go.
Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are not dabbing for Daisy.
Daisy.
We are here for episode 2 of Entanglement, where it has been
held
decided.
That for 1 minute.
You
one
sure did.
Fucking minute, you guys.
You sure did.
I'm sorry.
It has been decided today that if 4 corruption bars are hit in this episode, a one-shot for Daisy, starring Little Red Dot, will take place. That being said, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is down by the Patreon link below this stream. Second best way is here, subscribing on Twitch and joining our Discord and being a part of the conversation and a part of the community. And last but not least, on the bottom right-hand corner, you will see that corruption bar I referenced earlier. That bar has 2 purposes. 1 is when that bar fills, no one gets to do what the hell he wants to us. 4 means a one-shot. But 2, and most importantly, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing faces you see here before you. That being said, I will turn things over to Gnome to take us into space.
Yeah, I'm going to interject on that. So the correction bar, super cool, right? Great, everybody's going to get paid. Awesome. What's way better, though, is the fact that, see, in this game, it has its own. Yes, yeah, pinkies out. Pinkies out, boys. The game has its own corruption bar. It's called, we love this word, right? Churn. This is our churn table. And every time that the players are successful in doing stuff, we add some churn points to this table. And at certain times, at 10, at 20, and then at 30, I get to make things happen in the game. Some are minor events. They could be social events. They could be hazard events. They could be all sorts of things. They can have a major impact, or there can be an epic one. So it adds an extra element of suspense and danger and daring. So,
Gnome, on the note of as the world churns,
What is happening?
we just hit 2 corruption bars, and we're halfway to a third.
Oh,
What is happening?
all right. Well,
They like it too much.
So go ahead and
Okay.
increase that churn, and
so right. So here's the other benefit. Here's the other benefit of this churn table that is connected to the corruption bar. Every time we get a corruption bar, we add 5 points to the churn table. So if you're telling me we just hit 2, that means our already 9 points, which, by the way, we would have had 10, I believe.
Eli, yeah.
Knocked away 1, so I didn't get to do an event. Well, guess the fuck what? That's another. We're just gonna write numbers because I don't want to do other math.
no,
That's-
it's I just want you to take all your notes you wrote a little while ago and throw them right out. Throw them right away.
Yeah. This is different. It's different. Cool. Planning. Who the fuck needs planning, right? I don't. Anyways, thank you so much for supporting us here.
We're at
We'll get you
19
next week.
churn.
Yeah, you're at 19 churn.
What's the max out of curiosity?
30.
Oh, Max Turner's
Are we
30.
gonna die?
I think we're gonna die.
It's not good.
It's
I
it's
definitely
not,
did make another character. You know what?
It's not so.
Josh
so
is
here,
ready.
so because a lot of us are new to the game, myself included. So please bear with us.
Oh, boy.
Let's learn a rule real quick so we can understand exactly what the churn does. So there are 3 different levels of a game impacts: minor, major, and epic. Minor, the characters face a setback, a minor complication that makes things more difficult for them. Okay, not bad. Major, the characters have to deal with a more serious setback, such as there's an increased threat that's right next to them. There could be some sort of like a hazard appears. There's an opposing force that are alerted to their presence.
Hey, Gnome.
Then there's the epic.
I'm curious.
Epic.
What does 24 churn fall into? What category is that?
That's still major.
Okay, because we just hit another corruption bar.
What are y'all
Oh
doing?
my God. We haven't even started playing.
Yeah, I haven't even done the recap, which I also didn't write. So cool, we're great. It's fine. I guess well,
One more bar for Daisy.
one more bar for Daisy, y'all.
for Daisy.
Holy
So the
shit.
epic
Donate
thing,
or
right?
dab for Daisy. If you can't donate, dab. I want you to do it right now.
So epic things go from bad to really bad. a whole new threat enters the story, and it's worse than
Did we hit
whatever the crew
4?
is already dealing with.
Mike. Okay. Okay. Mike's making a face, and I'm very concerned.
I'm so sweaty. It's not from the temperature.
I know, I'm just that cute. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So that's it. That's the churn, y'all. And so we're at 24. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, we just hit it. We hit a third bar, so
Oh
it's a
my
plus 15
lord.
on that 9.
Okay.
So 9
Cool.
plus 9 plus 15 is
Cool.
24. That's where-
Great. Let's do a recap before we before we can, actually fucking play the game. Last week, we learned about 4 relatively normal people who are sitting on a tin can heading to Ceres, which is the largest and first inhabited belt, region of the belt. It is huge. It's carved out. There's 6 million people that live there, and there is this big convention that is supposed to be going on. So representatives from Earth, Mars, and the belt were requested to arrive at Ceres to renegotiate terms about a large mining contract at the belt. And we have Representative Adrian Cox from Earth, who has been, well, his stay wasn't too great. Lost the secretary there, sorry. Rip. So that was Earth's representative. Darling was to be the representative of the belt, who was supposed to be protected by Rex Aaron. Oops.
I feel like we're getting.
I'm sorry, I was saving the rest of the ship.
It's fine. We also got to meet Kosh, who is traveling from Mars to Ceres, and Eli, who is doing the same. Also Martian, correct? You were coming from Mars? Perfect. And we saw that there were OPA on board, although maybe they weren't OPA. Darling had mentioned whispers of traders or some sort of potential danger that was on board, and danger there was. They came in, they took out the bridge, they overtook it for a moment, shutting down all power, all communications aboard this transportation vessel, of which Kosh was able to repair with a little bit of oversight and assistance from Eli. And Rex and Adrian were able to dispose of at least, Rex literally wrecked, 3, 4, I don't know. Rex left a lot of bodies in his wake in the cargo hold, which was torn open, or I should say blown open, and a ship is currently attached to the hull of the bay that they very clearly made. Adrian Cox unfortunately witnessed his secretary straight up assassinated, as he was either going to be assassinated himself or escorted back to the ship. With quick thinking, he was escorted. With faster shooting, he was liberated. So the two of them made their way back up to Rex's employer, Darling, only to find him dead as well. That's 2 of the 3 diplomats that are supposed to be representing peaceful negotiations up at Ceres. And we left off with a mother and a child cradling a smaller child, seemingly limp in the mother's arms. There are still 2 armed OPA members in the civilian cabin, but we, the players, don't know that. So we're going to take the camera and shift on over to Kosh. You just finished rebooting the systems. You were successful in the repairs. You're able to get the ship back online. Power is now coursing through the entire vessel. What is it you would like to do? Where would you like to go?
I think I'd like to make my way back upstairs. I think I made it all the way down. I'll make it my way back upstairs to see if I can find the two people that I saw in the corridor as I ran by. One of them with the gun and another one in fancy clothes.
Yeah, absolutely. And you go ahead. You head up up another deck, and Rex and Adrian, you were just about to leave, correct? From Darling's quarters.
I think that sounds right. Yeah, I think we were backing out of the because he was dead. I remember we found some documents that were not useful, and then he had something else on him that I did not write down because I'm trash at playing games.
He didn't have anything important on him because Darling kept everything in his head.
That's right.
Because he's smart.
That's exactly right.
Smart man. Smart man.
I do believe the suggestion that Adrian had for you is that we might want to consider checking on the other representatives, as me being the only one alive might be a little awkward once we get to the end of this situation.
Yeah, do you know where they stay?
That is something that unfortunately I do not know. I did not bother to introduce myself to the representatives, and now I see the purpose of manners. So we will need to find a way to locate where they are, or find someone that can locate where they are.
Do you know where there is a like a ship manifest, or who is in charge of that kind of thing?
That is what Daisy would do for me normally.
I don't know what the Daisy is, but that's fine. We'll figure it out.
She is not important. I don't know anything other than I have a wonderful speech prepared.
I don't know that you're going to be able to give that speech, but I don't think that matters now. We should go. And he like unclicks the magazine and then puts it back in, and you should stay behind me, yeah, and look around.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. He just pulls out the gun and like presses something on it. You can kind of tell he's guessing, but if you comforts him, and then he just puts it back down.
Do you know what you are? Do you know what you're doing with that?
Well, I know from what I've seen that the trigger shoots, and to point the hole at the thing that I want to shoot. Other than that, I figure I could learn it on the fly, huh?
Okay, just so we're clear on this, if you shoot me, it will return fire. You haven't paid me yet. I don't work for you, so don't hit me.
What if I promise a bonus if I shoot you on accident?
Let's talk bonus on the way.
All right.
And he steps out rifle first out of the room here.
And we see now as like the camera kind of like shifts away from the room. Rex rifle, looking around. Adrian kind of stepping behind him with some sort of weapon. And as you kind of turn a corner through one of the corridors, you notice a gentleman who had passed you earlier. Kosh is there.
Hey, did you find what you're looking for?
Yeah, you could say that. What are you doing here?
And he like turns, and you can see you can clearly see the tattoo on his neck, but he also has the ship's name on the back of his shirt. Security.
Okay.
AJ just waves behind him.
I kind of like almost ignore a little bit what you say, and I kind of start looking around in the room, and I start looking for more terminals. Are we like in a room that's like with a door or anything like that's closed, or are we out in the hallway like you said?
You'd be out in the hallway, right?
Yeah, it's like we're in the hallway, but there is a door behind us that has probably a terminal on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's every corridor would have a terminal. Anytime that there is like, so everything is compartmentalized for emergency purposes. If like there was a breach at any point or a fire at any point, there are doors that would close out and seal that area off. So on either side of a door, there's always a terminal.
Okay. So I walk over to a terminal and I think they would have noticed me kind of like glancing at the guns a little bit. Like my eyes are, my vision's kind of like lingering a little bit as like I walk around and I make it to a terminal. And what I want to do is I want to like hack in to see if there's like a security camera system so I can like look through different cameras and see if I can see any more people. And then I'll say, it seems like you're pretty good with that gun, though, yeah?
So far, the best I've seen, yeah?
All right.
I've seen him
Hold
as
on.
well. He's very good. Excuse me, sir. I hope you don't mind me jumping in here. Do you know where I might be able to find the other ambassadors that were on the ship?
Yeah, hold on. Let me find that out. Let me figure it out for you. And I walk over to a terminal. I have my jacket back on, so like I'm going to like reach in through my sleeves to pull out like tools. I don't want to like take it off. I don't want to take off my jacket. I don't want to pull back the sleeve or anything. I kind of just want to like reach in and like try to pull out like my little terminal pad and connect to the terminal there.
Yeah, absolutely. And go ahead and roll, I believe it was intelligence. But also, I think you get an additional bonus because you had a stunt from last week's session.
Oh, okay.
I think it adds a +1. Was it? I think.
Yeah, he
Just
basically has
accessing
like
the terminal
a
again.
+1 forward.
So I'm gonna just roll that. So 4, 10, so it's 18 plus 1, so 19.
Plus, you get 4 stunt points.
I get 4 more stunt points.
Yep. So you're able to spend those now. While you're kind of flipping through what you'd like to choose for that, I'll kind of narrate some of the things that you'll be seeing. So yes, you are looking for a bit of information. You wanted the security cameras, and B, although first and foremost, you are trying to access what is it? It's not a dossier. What is a passenger list thing called?
Like probably like a manifest? Is that a thing?
Yes, thank you. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, there's a fancy word for that stuff, right? Who is on board? Yes,
like a ledger or a dossier.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I could do 4 points straight into calming the waters, but would that help the churning pool whatsoever?
How much does that take off of the?
It would just be 4, right? Because I only get the 4.
Oh, it would drop it back to 30, which is
which is still.
It's 3 bad, still... just not 3++ bad.
yeah. The 4 would carry over, so at least when we do the 30, you won't start at 4.
Listen, there might not be a 30. We might be able to bring it down. Don't.
You know what? I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna start this. All of them. You're
gonna pull it.
All of them. Perfect. All of them into calming the waters.
Love it. Excellent. Thank you. All right, so you are working your magic, and you've already been inside the systems. They weren't too difficult to get into before, so you're a bit familiar with what it is that you're or how you're navigating through, and you are able to find that manifesto, and you see people like of greater importance are kind of like shifted up, to the top of the list to show like which cabin spaces they're in, and you're able to kind of like read through the list. And although you're not certain who the Martians had sent, you do recognize a name and could assume that Senator Martina Torres is going to be the representative for the Martian seat over in Ceres for the convention. So she would be upstairs in the cabin space that was similar to where Adrian had been staying. You don't know her whereabouts currently right now. And as far as security cameras, you're able to access them, and you could see like maybe 6 on that one panel at once, and you could tab through. There's about 20 more that you're able to kind of like flip through and kind of see what's going on. What is it you're looking for?
Well, I'm looking to see the passengers, like the passenger cargo bay, I guess. And then also, since Mr. Adrian Cox was asking for help, I'm also going to be looking for like the special suites to see if there's people in them or anything like that.
Sure. So unfortunately, you are not able to access the inside of private cabins. You're able to go through the hallways, and you kind of like nothing in the hallway, nothing in the hallway, nothing in the hallway. You do see at one point, maybe in one of the hallways, there's a couple people that are just dead on the ground. They look to be either some sort of worker of the ship or maybe even the ship's original security. Just lying on the ground, unmoving. As you flip through, you're able to see the bridge, which is empty except for a couple bodies also on the ground. And in that moment, actually, you see a tall, slender person with these multicolor fiber optics for hair, kind of walking by as they're leaving the bridge.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't know what your friends look like, but there's a lot of people dead. Someone really didn't want you to get you to the belt.
I see. You are very talented. Am I able to tell if you're Earther or Belter or Duster?
Definitely not Belter.
Okay. So he would go. So I can't help but wonder. Are you of Earth? Are you Martian? I know it's rude, but I'm very curious.
Does it matter?
I suppose now it does not. You haven't shot me. You haven't shot me, or you haven't shot at me, and that's good enough.
And I won't pick up a gun, so don't worry about that.
We have him. He points to Rex, and he goes, look, I believe that if we are to survive, whatever this is, it would be best if we all stick together and you have your talents, and Mr. Rex here has his talents. I have mine. I would hope that you would consider working with us until we find a resolution to whatever it is that is going on currently.
Yeah, well, I'm not really looking to die, so if and I look over to Rex, if he says he knows how to use that thing, then I'll stand behind him, I guess.
Definitely
What do you
don't
say,
stand in
Mr.
front.
Rex?
That's fine. I just don't get any crazy ideas. Yeah. Can you access the cameras on that?
Yeah, I just checked them out. I don't know where they went. There's a lot of dead people, though.
Is there anyone between here and the bridge?
No.
Nope.
No, not that I can see.
Okay.
At least not alive.
That's where I would go. Yeah? We need to check the bridge. If they control the bridge, then they control the ship. And it doesn't matter who we shoot, who we save. They can crash the ship.
Did we see anyone in the breach? You said it is empty, correct?
No, the tall slender man with the fiber optics, was that in the bridge?
That was in the bridge.
Yeah, there's someone there, but they don't have any guns or anything, so maybe you can talk to him.
Just one man?
Yeah, just one.
Might be someone that the terrorists left to control the bridge while they control the crew.
Something tells me that I don't think so.
How about we
I will trust your instincts, and I will trust Rex's trigger finger, just in case.
Look, let's just stop by a terminal before we get in there. I'll double check.
Hey, Mr. Cox.
Yes.
That's one time. Not terrorist. That's one. Let's go. And he steps back out of the door and starts to walk towards the direction of the bridge.
Like, as he follows behind, he just goes, just for the record, I don't believe that this is done by the OPA. Perhaps some individuals involved with the OPA, of course. But I don't believe this is all of them.
Well, the man that had you, he was an Inyoloda, so...
This is fair.
And he again starts to walk with his rifle at the low ready.
Excellent.
Got my silenced pistol.
just holding it.
What dude?
Just like a rifle, right?
Holding it wrong.
He's got like one hand on the grip, one hand on the barrel. The silencer standing out.
He's trying to do the sideways, like, taking thing, but he's messing it all up.
I'm actually I'll walk up next to Adrian and I'll put like a like firm but like soft hand like on one of his forearms, and I'll just say, if you don't know how to use that thing, maybe don't point it up. Point it down.
Oh, point it down. Sounds good. Just a mess.
And I'm gonna stand behind him, like I'm keeping my space from him.
Politicians.
The camera shifts as we almost look in through the terminal that had the camera feed of the bridge, where we see Eli Villanueva. What are you up to right now?
Okay, I need to quick jump back to the end of session 1 so I remember what the hell I was doing. I had just frightened the 2 people out of the bridge and taken.
Right.
Okay. I think Eli has been sort of scanning the ship, looking not necessarily for is looking for a couple things. Looking for like people with like large groups with guns, because anyone who is by themselves with a gun is less likely to be part of the operation if they're running around solo. And also where they breached from.
Okay. So where they breached from, you are able to determine based off of just an overall like systems check.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a flashing panel, right, of the different compartments of the
Yep.
ship, and the cargo hull is like flashing breach.
Is there anybody in the cargo hold on camera, or the camera's gone there?
Nope, cameras are there.
Okay.
There's a lot of blood and a lot of dead bodies.
Okay.
But you can see, if you're looking into the camera feed there,
Yep.
you do see like where one of the bay doors had just been blown inward,
Mhm.
and there are these like massive clamps
Yep.
that have sealed some sort of bridge door or gateway, right?
Yep.
To another vessel,
Okay.
which I believe you knew because you were trying to access it. But because it's not actually connected to this ship's systems, you were unable to do so.
Not that I was aware of, but okay. I don't
Oh, I
think
thought you...
No.
I think that
You
was
did.
Kosh.
Was it Kosh?
That was Kosh.
Was that Kosh?
Yeah,
Okay.
Kosh found that, I think.
Too many hackers.
Yeah. It's too many people over here playing a Shadowrun minigame.
Right?
So
Goddamn nerds.
Eli is going to... Yeah, if I can... Does there look to be people sort of meandering around? Like, in terms of, did I find anybody who looks like they were part of, like, the breaching team, whoever breached the ship in, like, concentrations of places? Or didn't seem like it?
That's what's strange. For the both of you, for both Kosh and Eli, having flipped through the camera feeds, there's nobody moving around on this ship. Occasionally you'll find hallways where there are just bodies lying on the ground. A lot of them look like the uniform workers of some sort, like attached to the ship.
Okay.
No question. Would he
Yes.
see us now that we're moving around?
Now that you are moving around, yeah, probably. As he's kind of flipping through, he would see 2 armed people and a third behind them.
Okay.
Yeah, Manifest told me where people, like what suites or what rooms they would be in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, you would have that information. So that's a question real quick. Are you heading to the bridge first, or are you heading to the Martian ambassador's room?
So that question tells me that they're probably not in the same direction, yeah?
They're in different locations.
Different
sure.
locations.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Bridge is like mid-level. Ambassador cabins would be top level.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. I think that I'm going to prioritize getting to the bridge to make sure that the ship is still functional and going to its destination, and then we can see if people are alive or not.
Yeah. If there doesn't seem to be anybody else in the area, Eli's going to hack the comms system if he can to localize the loudspeaker, like a loudspeaker in that hallway.
Yep, go ahead and roll intelligence.
Cool. It's technically technology, right?
Oh, tech, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's why I don't actually have that, so I'm just gonna roll intellect. Garbaggio. I got a stun point though. Oh well.
Yeah, unfortunately, not
Yes.
not quite enough.
Yeah, it's a 9.
To get into the comm systems. Yeah.
All right.
It's maybe something happened during the reboot, and not all the systems are fully up yet,
That makes sense.
including the communications. So you're just unable to access them at this time.
Okay. If it looks like they're heading towards the bridge, Eli is going to wait, because the statistical chance of like him leaving to go find them and then missing each other on the way there is too high that he doesn't care to try. So he's gonna wait for a minute.
Okay. Well, if he's waiting, Rex, Adrian, Kosh, you're able to make it to the bridge. The door is closed, locked. There is nobody in sight.
Hey, Mr. Cox. By this hallway, just stay here around the corner. If anything comes through,
Shoot it.
yeah, you'll figure it out.
Okay.
He like puts his back near the door and like looks down the hallway they just came from, so he can kind of keep his eye on all the intersections. And he just motions to Kosh. This looks like it's your specialty, and he like aims down rifle.
And then I pull up to the terminal outside of the door, and I start accessing it, but I think I know that I won't be able to unlock it. So I'm going to try and send a message, like a text message, almost like a text message over to the other side.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll. All right. You are also hit with like some sort of firewall. Again, the systems just didn't boot up properly because they weren't shut down proper and they weren't restarted properly. So unfortunately, you're trying to get that message through, and it's just not transferring.
Damn, that was a hell of a roll, though.
Hold on, give me a second. Fuck. And then I'm gonna knock on the door, and then afterwards I'm going to like take steps off to the side, so like when the door opens, I'm not standing right in front of the door, like I'm standing on the other side of where Rex is with his gun.
Yeah, I think as soon as he like knocks on the door, like Rex like looks at him like what the fuck, and then he like turns and he's now pointing the rifle at the door, because he's not unconvinced that Cybernetic Head is not a terrorist, an actual terrorist. So he's going to be pointing a rifle like at center mass when if that door opens.
Okay. And Eli, you're able to see on the cameras, right, on the security feed, these three figures positioned.
Yeah. So like I think Eli looked. I think because Eli has spent the time they were taking to get there to look for like the two OPA question mark. He's not sure. Like the two belters who he ran into and then subsequently scared out of the bridge later, and then when like looks up and sees them arrive, looks at them start fiddling with the terminal outside, just kind of like, I don't understand why they're doing that. Like, they're here, they could just knock, and then goes back to doing like the thing looking for the two belters. And when they knock, Eli just kind of like hits a button to open the door because that's one of the controls he figured out.
All right. The door quietly opens.
I think Rex steps in with the rifle ready, and he just assumes that this guy has something to do with what's going on. Hey, hands up.
I'm gonna follow shortly behind with my silencer.
Hey, get away from the terminal, yeah?
So he like puts his hands up, like it's not like up, but it's like hands hovering over the terminal, not touching it.
What do I see in this room besides this guy?
You see a perfect anime villain standing before you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to tell you. This is literally an anime villain.
What else do I see, Gnome, besides him?
You see a normal-looking Earth-built civilian transportation vessel bridge command center, right? There's a couple stations where chairs are positioned. There's tons of control panels. There's obviously a viewfinder to see the space out in front of you, which is just dark with the exception of a couple stars, off in the background. And you also see the bodies of several people lying on the ground in pools of blood on the hard floor. They obviously were the actual crew of this vessel. They are in, full command garb.
So one could say this looks hella suspect. Right?
One would say.
Yeah, okay.
It's probably made more suspect because there was probably like a corpse in front of the terminal that Eli like kicked over to one side and is now like standing in like a dried pool of blood.
Absolutely.
He's like, get out of my way.
So there's just like a little bit of blood on his shoe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think seeing you like raise your hand off the terminals and then seeing a scene of like low-key carnage, he kind of levels the rifle down and says, "Hey, step back from the terminal. Quiet guy. Check it out." And he's like trying to get Eli away from the terminal to let Kosh see what nerd shit he can do.
I'm pretty sure that you're the quiet guy, not me.
I definitely wouldn't have heard that because I didn't walk in. I'm still outside.
Oh, he would have said it. He would have said it loud enough out of the door.
Yeah,
right?
that's why Adrian's just like, I'm pretty sure he's not talking about me. Like, Adrian is halfway, and so he's just kind of talking to Kosh.
Yeah, we're not on a stealth mission. He says it loud enough.
Yeah, the first time you say something, like, I'm still out there, like, debating going in or not. So I immediately, I didn't respond to you. I didn't walk in, and I'm not doing anything. As far as you know, I'm still standing outside.
He's still standing outside.
Fucking Noir. Thank you.
Call out.
Thank you.
Love you.
Hey, you had one job, yeah? We're at the controls. Figure it out.
He's talking to you again.
What? Hey, who are you? And he looks back to Eli.
If you're trying to figure out what's going on in the ship, I have a feeling your friend already did that from the last terminal they accessed. I was just here to make sure they didn't keep the bridge.
Who's they?
Well, I ran into a couple of belters with some guns who killed everyone in the room and then left, so...
Where are your guns?
I don't have a gun.
And I'm gonna, like, attempt to, like, look to see if it looks like he has any kind
Eli's
of
wearing,
gun.
Eli's wearing, like, kind of, like a Martian-esque jumpsuit. It's, like, it's like, form-fitting enough that it would be very hard to hide a gun anywhere, and he's not openly wearing one.
Okay. So what are you trying to do here?
I took over the bridge from the two belters with the guns. So I was making sure that the alarm I sent to them didn't turn into a real one.
Oh.
I'll take a deep breath outside and I'll slowly walk in, just like real slowly. And you'll see like Kosh is like looking up, definitely trying not to look down. He'll just like say out loud, "Hey, trigger fingers, let him lock the door behind me."
Mr. Cox. And like he motions to come in as well. And Rex takes a few steps forward.
Yeah, Adrian's gonna walk in and he's going to look to Eli and go, once you were able to secure the bridge, did you bother to send out a communication to the UN to let them know what is going on?
I've been concerned with getting shot. I figured that once I had a secure enough place, that would be fine. Comms seem to be in a bit of a disarray, though.
Well, can we
Does
see
he have
if
a
we
gun?
can?
Does he have a gun?
I can see.
Okay.
I'm like asking Rex and Adrian since I'm not
Eli's
like
just
really-
like Eli just like loudly like no.
Not that I
he
can
let
see.
us in. He let us in. He doesn't have a gun. Please just let him lock the door behind us.
Lock the door behind us and then send a white beam to the UN. Let's get someone out here to clean up this mess.
What about the other ambassador?
There's
Once
an
we sit-
ambassador on the ship.
Hello.
I mean,
Wait.
another one. Evidently, clearly, the gunny one was talking about someone else since you're here.
There was 3. What are you
There
doing on
was
this ship?
3. I'm traveling to Ceres.
How did you get on this ship?
How did anyone in the passenger hold get into this ship? I'm pretty sure not everyone there is politicians.
As they're having that conversation, I'm gonna go to the terminal to see if I can lock the door because I'm about to have a nervous breakdown.
As
right
you
now.
walk around, like points to one side and it's just like wide beam over there. And if your friend with the gun will let me, I can handle locking the door.
Thank you. And I head toward the white beam.
I'm not stopping you.
Cool. Eli like slowly lowers his hands and locks the doors.
Yep. Door closes. You hear like as it's bolted in place.
I will go to the wide beam and try to get send a message to the UN. Hello, this is Ambassador Cox. I am on the what is the name of this ship again? Oops.
Unnamed ship.
Did you tell us ever?
This is
No,
Ambassador
because-
Cox. I am on the unnamed, heading towards Thurs.
No, it would be something like UN.
Hazy.
Wow.
Did you say hazy?
Oh,
No.
the daisy. Stop that.
No,
Stop that.
No.
no.
But hey, we'll give a little homage. We could call it the UN Peony 2472.
The compass rose.
Ooh, the Compass Rose is a great name.
We can go with that. That's fine. The Compass Rose. You like that?
Yeah.
Done.
Okay, the UN.
The UN Compass Rose. It is just it's a bus, right? It's just a bus. It goes from Earth to Mars to Ceres. From Earth to Mars to Ceres.
Excuse me, sir. I am an ambassador. I do not ride on any bus. This is a transport vessel. So I am just gonna send the Y beam out to the UN. This is Ambassador Cox. I am currently on the UN Compass Rose, which has been taken over by some unaligned terrorists that we do not know the nature of. They have slaughtered quite many of us.
Their nature is dead, for the record.
All of them?
Nobody's moving around on the ship.
That does not mean that we can confirm that they're dead. So UN, please send assistance as soon as possible. I do not know the status of the Martian ambassador, but I can confirm that the Delta ambassador, Darling, is dead. Please send help as soon as you can. Please help us. Thank you.
Did Adrian Cox name himself as he was like sending out that the SOS?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yes. Yep.
And
Yes,
I'm
he
gonna
did.
just say, you probably shouldn't have done that. They were obviously trying to kill you. What's gonna stop them from destroying the ship now?
Because if they were trying to kill me, they already know who I am.
He has a point.
And
I'm gonna-
and you would know too, especially our tech friends here. You would know that if this message were to go out, it would take about 24 minutes from their current location, maybe
Yep.
about 20 minutes, I think, to reach Earth.
Yep.
So you wouldn't. It would take another 20 minutes to return a message. So you will not hear, if they even receive it, you will not hear from Earth for 40 minutes. So
Since I'm not a pilot, I want to like see if like autopilot is working functionally like right or not. I want to like see if like the faculty of the ship are like if it needed to fly on its own, if it's got everything it needs to make it to its destination.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, because this is a different terminal. Go ahead and do another
Yeah,
roll for me.
I'm on it. Hold on, let's see.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna
yeah.
do this. Whoops.
Buddy.
Get it all out now. This is
Yeah,
how
right?
This is how it started last time. We're gonna need it when that 30 churn hits.
Yep.
Fun story with that. As you are trying to get through and search the systems once more, you notice that the power on the screen, right, and around everybody else, if you're looking at the terminals, we're kind of like flicker for a moment, as if the power is just kind of going in and out. It's shaky, right? And for a moment, as you're trying to like type in and move around through the systems, you are booted out completely, and your terminal goes dark, only to open up again with a giant OPA symbol written in like ASCII text.
I like call over to Rex. I was like, hey buddy,
Yeah.
are you sure it wasn't them? And I point to my screen.
That's not what I said. I said we're not a terrorist group. Not everyone has the same values. And the guy who was leading them and who was kidnapping our ambassador friend here was an Earther. So it's not all them. It's not as black and white as you people like to think it is.
No matter how black and white it's going to be. Try explaining that to anybody who sees this.
This could very well be a ploy to make it look like it was the OPA. And for some of the Earthers that are a little bit more keen to blame the OPA for other things, this will be all they need. I am not so prejudiced in my thinking.
Hey, I don't know your name. And he like motions to Eli. I could just keep saying hey, but I don't know his name either. So it's gonna get confusing saying hey. And you're both kind of quiet, so.
Oh.
Introductions would be appropriate.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you talking to me?
He looks to Cox for a second. Yeah.
This one is going to take some luck, yes.
Rex. Cox.
You could call
Kashma.
me Adrian.
Kashma.
And I'll just say Kashma when you point over at me.
And you?
Eli kind of like looks at each of you and as like looks at Rex when you introduce yourself, then looks at Adrian, you look at him, looks at Kosh, and kind of tilts his head a bit and turns back and goes, Eli.
Are you asking me or telling me? It sounded like a question. I just want to make sure.
Are we doing a different method of introduction? You just needed one words.
Nope, that's fine. That's fine. I don't.
Okay.
I just did with the fucking whatever.
So, of course, go.
You said that you see no one moving around. I killed 3. There's 2 more here. No one breaches a ship this big with only 5. There's more somewhere. They're in hiding.
Well, there's a lot of people dead. Some in the cargo bay. Some wearing
those
different
were-
uniforms scattered throughout the ship.
Uh-huh.
There were 2 belters running around. I don't know where they went. Actually, did I find them? No, when I was looking around.
You didn't quite get there
Okay,
by the
cool.
time that these 3 came
There were-
knocking on the door.
There were 2 belters with much the same tattoo that you have, and sort of Eli sort of taps his neck where yours is.
Uh-huh.
And they're the ones that scared over the bridge. I didn't. Once I set everything down, I went to go look for them and couldn't find them again.
When I first accessed the terminal, like last session,
Mhm.
I noticed right that there was like a power surge or something. Like, was it the cargo bay? That's why I went down there. Like there was like a ship was docked there or something like that.
Correct. The cargo bay had its one of the bay doors blown open, and there is a ship that's still currently attached to that explosion. And the panel that you had accessed was just like ripped open, just not done with the delicate touch, right?
Okay,
They just wanted to cut power.
So when I looked through the security cameras, I still saw that ship was still docked. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So I'll like direct my words over to Eli. You've seen the security cameras, yeah?
Most of them.
Well, their ship is still docked, so they've got to be somewhere.
Well, they were in the cargo bay. That's where they breached, right? That ship is still connected there. So if there's any going to be a pivot point, that's where it is. On the other hand, that means we're connected to their ship, theoretically, which could be useful.
While this is going on, I'd like to have Adrian check the bodies of the men that are dead in the breach to see if they're Earther, Duster, Belter.
Yeah, sure. And you go ahead. You kind of like, I would assume like tentatively like look down, maybe have to like roll someone over occasionally. And
it is messy work, but I can do it. I believe in myself. Oh god.
Are you saying that out loud?
Yes, he is.
Perfect.
I think Rex just like holsters the rifle on one arm and just like watches this
Eli,
happen.
like if it takes too long, Eli's going to walk over, like plant a boot on one and roll them over, and then go back to standing.
Oh, it squished. All right, thank you. Oh,
It was one loud squish is better than multiple small squishes, if that makes you queasy.
if the tiny squishes are harder to hear, it makes it a little bit better. But it is a matter of perspective. Okay, let's take a look.
Based on just like physique and other like physical indicators, all of these people look like they are employed by the UN, by Earth.
I will call to Kosh and go, further reason that I don't believe that this could have been done by the OPA. These are my kin. These are children of Earth.
OPA isn't particularly discriminate when it comes to Martian or Earther.
Wouldn't they want to kill the Earthers?
These are crew members, Noir.
These are the crew
this is
members.
the bridge
right?
crew.
Yes.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought he. I don't know why. I thought Eli killed one of the terrorists. Never mind.
I get it. Look at him. It looks like he would kill people.
Yeah,
right?
for real.
Thanks, great.
We got
thanks.
Seto Kaiba over here.
Yeah, no.
Lord.
It looks like he'd betray him.
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear enough.
No, that's my
these
bad.
are it's a UN vessel. It's an Earth vessel. It is an Earth crew.
Gotcha. Sorry.
No,
Rewind.
that's fine.
Rewind.
You still roll the bodies over,
Yes,
able to
still
discern.
squishy.
Still squishy. The boot still hits. Oh, yep. They're from Earth.
Adrian, what are the name?
Yes.
What are the name of your the other diplomats you're looking for?
I don't know what they were looking for, but I know that we were all going to have, to deliver speeches, to try and come up with compromises for small union trade deals, things like that.
I think he was asking
Adrian,
me.
you would know though. You wouldn't have known the Belter because the Belter representative changes as
Pretty
does
regularly.
Solar Wind does, right?
Wow, guys.
It's amazing that they can even have a position. at
Wow.
all. But no one needs to know. I think that.
Wow.
Damn.
I'm gonna have a misfire.
Oop.
It's
Well,
Rex.
Rex is now the diplomat.
Yep.
It's weird.
off.
Bullets ricochet on metal surfaces, so There's a lot of them around. Just be careful.
Yeah, so Adrian Cox, you would know that the ambassador selected for this particular assignment would have been Senator Martina Torres, and you're relatively familiar with her. She's pretty like an iron fist sort of politician.
And she was for what side again? Sorry.
Martian.
All right, and the name one more time, Senator
Martina Torres.
Okay. Well, with that information, I would try and go to one of the terminals and look her up, since I have her name.
Yeah.
Or I mean, Koch has the manifest, so
Oh, well,
he
this
can
is
just
true.
tell you.
Well, yeah, I'll have him look it up. I don't want to do the work myself.
I feel like Adrian was going to go right, and then Kosh is just like, you know.
Right. If you could look up Senator Martina Torres, I need to see.
So maybe you started looking it up, and I kind of walked over and I kind of just hit a few buttons on like that's outside her room. I pull up the security feed outside of like in the hallway outside of our room for you.
Mm. Yep.
Does it look as though her room was broken into? Does everything look safe?
The door is closed in that hallway. There's only a couple rooms. It's very similar to the like the cabin level that you had been established on. It's just like in a different wing. There doesn't appear to be any signs of struggle. There's nobody walking around. There are no dead bodies on the ground.
Can I attempt to access the comms to her room, perhaps, to try and chime her? See if
yes.
she responds. Okay.
Yep.
So
Go ahead. Roll let's roll to see what happens with those comms.
And what am I rolling again?
Intelligence.
Okay.
Or tech.
I can do that. No.
Funny thing, as you go to push the comms on a separate terminal, right?
Who are they funny to now?
We have a very different sense of humor.
All these misses. You keep saying funny thing about that, and I don't.
Yeah, funny thing. I don't know. I'm laughing. It's great.
Wow.
So the screen, similar to what happened to Cautious Terminal, flickers, goes dark. OPA symbol pops up in ASCII characters.
That is very annoying.
You'll start seeing, actually now, at this point, a couple of the other screens. They all go dark eventually, all with OPA symbol.
Hey, can you find out if the ship is going to Ceres or where is it going? Don't all ask at once.
Was the ship's vector changed when I was looking at it?
It was stopped.
Oh.
There is no target destination at this point.
Gotcha.
He's going to try and wide beam to you in one more time.
Okay.
The ship was stopped, though last I checked the flight plans mentioned it was going to Ceres as per usual.
He's dead in the water.
One moment, gentlemen. This is important. This is Ambassador Cox to the UN. Currently, the ship is showing signs of manipulation by the OPA. I can, however, confirm that one of the attackers that attacked me personally and tried to assassinate me was of Earth. I believe that this is being set up by some third party to frame the OPA. I ask that we show patience and restraints in our response, and that we come to a clear, concise decision on who did this before we decide to retaliate. I am being protected now by a member of the OPA, and I will not have blood spilled before we know who did this, please. And then that will end the message.
You submit the message. It fires off. However, the terminal you were using has a new message waiting. The little light flickering, waiting to be answered.
I will answer. I will activate the message.
I don't think you should do that, Ambassador.
Yeah.
At
maybe...
least not your face. It's easily recognizable.
I think if anyone is to speak to them, it should be me.
We don't know it's them.
We don't.
Your
All
funeral.
the more reason that I would like to take responsibility for this.
Eli just, your funeral, steps back.
And he activates the message.
Okay.
Ambassador Cox, you should not be alive, but it pleases me to hear your voice again. Just wait. We'll come for you very soon. Beep.
I'm going to walk over to the terminal Adrian was at. I'm going to reach over him and I'm going to lock the terminal. All right.
Yeah.
So we should leave the bridge.
So
Someone wants to kill me. This is wonderful news. It means
Is
I've
that
been
voice
doing
familiar?
something correctly.
Is that voice familiar to you at all?
Is that voice familiar to me at all?
Because they said
It was
again.
It was a bit too mechanical. Probably some sort of voice modulator being used.
so me pensa it's not safe here. We need to go. Can you lock this down as best you can?
Kosh, did you say your name was Kosh? Or did he say
Yeah.
your name was Kosh? You haven't told me yet.
My name's... I said Kashma out loud.
Okay. Can you play that again for me?
Yeah, hold on.
Sid, see if you can unscramble it.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that just...
Go ahead and roll. Roll for me.
What do you want me to roll? Intelligence, yeah? Technology?
Yeah. Roll tech. Roll your tech. Because now you're really
Hell yeah.
trying to mess with some systems there. Cool. Nice. Okay.
2 stun points. Nice.
Yeah. We'll
Dump
take
those
it.
dump those stud points again into calming the waters.
Oh, buddy, why?
You know, now that I know that they're trying to kill me, I
No,
wholeheartedly
thank you. No, thanks.
It's our turn to hurt Space Poppy. Here we go.
Buddy, don't give it to us.
All right. Well, we are now down to 28.
We're here to take your fucking points away.
Damn it. Don't worry, because the more successful at things you are, don't forget those points come into play anyways. This was just from the corruption bar.
It's true.
Yeah, I know. I got combat chat over here.
So you're able to start at least pulling apart, or pulling back some of the voice. It sounds more feminine once you're able to kind of peel it back. Although, Adrian, it's still not clear enough. It wasn't. You don't have the right tools right now with you to be able to really pull apart and decipher the audio frequencies that are being submitted to mess up the voice, right? So it's still a bit distorted. It doesn't seem to be very clear to you as to who the voice belongs to, but they seem to very clearly know you.
Hey, Space Poppy, I got a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Would I have been able to decipher based off of how much time passed between Adrian sending that message and receiving a message, if it came from the ship or if it came from somewhere outside of the ship and they're on their way?
Yes, you can. tracing back, even with the roll that you had made, the first message had gone out, 5 minutes ago. The next message came back that quickly. It's certainly not from Earth. It's certainly not from Mars. Mars is about 10 minutes worth of communication time. You're able to determine that this came from the ship that's currently attached to this vessel.
You said currently attached to this vessel, right?
Correct. They have not broken off yet.
I kind of shuffle over to where Eli is, on the side where he didn't dump the body, and I'll whisper to him, but I don't know how close everyone is, but I'm not like hush hush whispering, but I am like in a low tone, just saying, I think they're still on that ship, or at least someone is. That was a quick response.
If someone's still on the ship, we could lock the cargo door bay. We could potentially lock the cargo door bay from here, at least the one leading out to from the airlock in.
They might already be on their way, though.
That's true.
We need to start locking some of these corridors.
Well, if they have the ability to lock us out of the screens, as they've shown to do with these, and he gestures to the OPA screens, I don't believe that we can think that we are technologically superior to them, and they currently know our location.
Yeah, I don't need to think that. And then Eli walks over to the terminal.
Oye, Poma, can you make the camera in the cargo bay, all the screens, everywhere? Is that something that can happen?
I can try to do that, yeah. Can we do that?
Like everywhere, on the whole ship. That way, if we move, we can always see any terminal.
Yeah.
Can we link it to our terminals? That way it's not all over the place? Because, like, I know, like, the cloud pass thing is a thing that happened in the Expanse. Can I uncloud pass from the main terminal to ours?
Go ahead and roll for it. Let's see if you can.
Cool.
Is there, like, assisting in this?
Yeah, I feel like the two of you...
I was going to say, because, like, Kosh is definitely better at it than I am.
Is there an assist? I don't know. Roll with advantage. Roll it again if it doesn't work.
Okay,
That's what we'll call it. We'll just
Nice.
we'll make that
I'm into it.
But also,
Okay.
Also, it's a solid fucking roll.
Yep.
yeah.
19 with 5 stun points.
Dang, with 5 stun points. All right.
Okay.
It's all the stun points that can go into calming the waters. But just saying.
You're not wrong. Let me just make sure there isn't anything else I can do with that real quick.
So, as you're looking, Eli, with the assistance of Kosh, the two of you are kind of almost in tandem working through. Maybe Kosh, you're actually keeping out the cyber attack, right? You're kind of clearing pathways so that Eli has clean access to the camera systems and is able to set up that cloud system.
Nice.
Here I am, just
Hacking the world.
Awesome. Cool.
Have you figured out some
Yes.
stunts? Oh.
I want to do You said before that we couldn't baseline access the private suites, right?
Correct.
Cool. I'm like to dump 2 points into calming the waters. And I would like to use the other 3 for high-tech hustle, which, with an injection of technobabble or a quick mod to a device, you sidestep a minor complication impeding your current goal, or give yourself the ability to perform a task you otherwise couldn't. I would like to be able simultaneously, while I'm running this, so we've got Kosh clearing paths, we've got me running like camera and getting linking our systems to the ship so we can see.
Mm-hmm.
And I want Sid to be looking at the Martian ambassador suites to see if they're still there and or alive.
Okay. Yes. So you are able to, as Kosh is masterfully setting up this like blockade for you, you are able to access the private chambers of a couple of the rooms, one of them being that of Senator Torres. And inside, as you pop open that feed, you see a tall, well-built woman. She is standing in her chamber with a pistol, reloading it. There is a body on the ground.
What are they dressed like?
They are dressed in Martian regalia. The body is dressed. It looks like a punk. Looks like a belter.
Does it look like one of the belters that I ran into?
It does not.
Okay.
Nope.
In what room are they looking into right now?
The Martian ambassadors.
Yep.
Okay.
Adrian, you said that you were approached or were killed. Rewind. You were attacked by an inner?
Yes. A fellow Earthling came into my room. He killed my secretary. He threatened to kill me, but we ended up having a pleasant conversation, and then he decided to take me off instead.
And earlier, Mr. Rex, you said that there were 3 ambassadors. I'm assuming you meant that one is no longer biologically functioning. And so that means that of the 2, that would have been the belter, correct?
That's what it means, yeah.
Did you see who had killed them?
No. He was dead when we got there.
You have information on the Martian ambassador.
I mean, I know about her politics. Actually, that's a good point. I have a current events thing. Can I find out what the flippity frack I know about this person?
Yes, of course you can. And I mean, Adrian, you would be familiar with.
I also have current affairs as well.
Yep, great,
Hey.
perfect. I mean, the both of you, you're familiar with Senator Torres. Again, she speaks and just dominates whatever room she enters with an iron fist. She does not back down. She is a negotiator because she gets what she wants.
Yes, we've gotten into many disputes, me and Martinez.
She's very like quietly aggressive and eager to jump into warring conflict if necessary. Very much a firm believer that the Martians can handle anything and everything, and is willing to prove that.
She's a bit of a warmonger.
I would say she's more conceited and patriotic, but yes, I suppose warmonger likes as well.
Does
I'm
any of
from
this
Mars. I'm
actually
from
matter?
Mars. I say she's a warmonger. That being said, she is alive and knows how to use a gun. So,
Then we need to go and find her.
can I access her comms from here now that I've done that?
You can attempt to.
Yeah.
Hey,
We know that we've established that comms are kind of
it's,
Yeah, they're kind of spotty, so I want to try.
Eli, right?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
you-
this whole time, like after like Eli did everything that he did, I'm gonna continue, like trying to clear up whatever virus or whatever blockades, like trying to clear up the whole ships, if I possibly can.
Can you fire a gun, or do you just like the suit?
Do I what?
Can you fire a gun, or do you just like to wear the suit?
Oh, I don't like to wear the suit at all. It's kind of uncomfortable and somewhat tight. But that's what when we were in space, so that's what I'm wearing.
He looks to Cox again. Can you fire a gun? All Martians can fire a gun, right?
That is a little bit, you know.
He looks
Anybody
back to
can fire
Eli.
a gun.
Eli goes, I can fire a gun. If you're asking whether or not I can aim with any proficiency, then not so much, no.
Anyone can fire a gun. That doesn't mean they should.
That's
Look
what
at
I
him.
said.
That's what I said
Wait. I feel as though we're all turning on me.
I
But
figured
anyway,
it
we
might
need
be
to find the
better hands than
Martian.
Point being, is there an extra gun, or are you just carrying guns around now?
Both, but I would rather have one in a Martian's hands if they can fire it better than a diplomat. Yeah? And he motions to Adrian, who is probably still holding the weapon incorrectly.
Holding
Oh,
the weapon
very-
and have like the worst trigger discipline possible, just kind of like dangling loosely.
He's still holding. He's holding it by
he's
the trigger, like
caressing-
he's holding the whole thing.
He's caressing the trigger. What's a safety?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh no.
Any excuse to get it out of his hands into someone slightly more proficient, but clearly,
You do know that like mechanically there are misfires and jams.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Anyways, so, yeah, I'm going to try to hack the comms and see if we can talk to
Yes.
Torres.
By all means, roll.
Oh.
Kosh, based on your previous rolls too, you're able to be successful.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Sweet.
oh,
What is that? 2, 2, 5, 9, 15?
and some stuff.
Do
15.
you have a question, Mike?
Yeah, did we succeeded on the terminals being able to see
Yep.
the cargo?
We've got camera systems uploaded
Okay,
to
cool.
terminals.
Yep, yeah, that was successful. And Kosh is, I would say maybe about half of the screens are now back under the ship's control.
Can we
because
freely
of
look
Kosh's
around the other cameras? Is that a thing that we could have done this whole time? I just wasn't aware of.
Yeah, from the bridge, absolutely.
Yeah. While the nerd shit's going on, Rex is going to look. He's going to flip through screen to screen to screen. Like he has like one. It stays on the cargo bay, but he's looking for people. Anyone, any people.
And
Okay.
a 15 through talk to Torres.
Yep, and a 15 and 2 stun points.
Yep. Churn.
Oh,
Yes.
It's 22. Still 22.
Kosh doesn't do this, but Juan Carlos does give John a high five.
Hey.
Damn it. Hey, look, I still have to roll. Like, I don't know
It's
what
true.
to tell you.
It's true.
Shit can still come. It's fine.
It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt someone.
We want
So-
to hurt less.
Yes, you are able to go ahead and turn on the comms. However, before you do, Rex, we see you kind of hovering over the screen, just pushing a button, like an arrow, literally just an arrow, and it's just like hallway empty, hallway dead bodies, cabin nothing, cargo bay. You've seen it before. The civilian cabin, the civilian commons cabin. There are about maybe 50 people inside, most of them forced into a corner. There are a dozen or so just bodies lying on the ground, and 2 people wearing like leather jackets, dark clothes. They've got tattoos all over them. One's got like a mohawk. One is super tall and lanky, and both of them heavy ammunitions. One pointing at the other, another at a terminal.
You said two people?
2.
Rex kind of like he like looks back to Geek Squad and he says, "Hey, I found 2 here. I don't know how you missed them. They're right here." And he takes a step away and reaches down to one of the big squish bodies and snaps off the walkie-talkie and sort of plops it on the table next to Adrian. I'm sure there's a little bit of blood on it. And then he turns his on and turns that one to the channel, so they're on the same kind of channel. He says, "These 2, they have all of the civilians cornered, yeah? So
Yeah.
you
Are those the 2 knuckleheads I scared off the bridge?
They are indeed.
So,
Is it really the best idea to have him talk to him?
oh no, that's not what I was gonna say. There's no need to talk. Just keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on the cargo bay. Adrian, you have the. You can figure that out, yeah? No. The walkie-talkie.
Oh yes, I have that as well.
Yikes.
He legit pulled out the gun. It was just like bang bang.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go have a quick talk. And he like pats the rifle. You let me know if anyone is coming or anything I should know about. Yeah.
Absolutely, I will keep you in contact. What does this little switch here do? It's the safety.
He walks over and switches it on. It makes it shoot faster. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
If you see anyone coming, and he just like says this to anyone from the cargo bay, or if they do anything inside, let me know.
I'll keep you apprised of the situation.
Yeah.
Does Rex have like a terminal or something like that, or like is that why he's grabbing the walkie-talkie?
He has like a closed net walkie that all of the security guards had here, and so he has like outside of like the normal cell phone thing, right? It's like a ship only range, so it's not even like a tight beam. It's like a smaller range than that.
So like, do we have like a direct line of communication with you? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. He's got the walkie-talkie, which
Yep. Adrian's got the one.
I feel like Eli walks over and holds out both hands, one for the radio and one for the gun, and it's just like, you have the Ambassador Torres on the other line.
Thank you. And he just walks towards the terminal with the ambassador. Oh, Senator.
Yeah. Oh,
Martina.
Senator, Ambassador.
Eli
she-
taps you on the shoulder and you leave and says, I'm going to need the walkie-talkie because you're not looking at any of the cameras.
Of course, here, take this. He gives you the walkie-talkie. And he just Senator Thurs, it is Ambassador Cox. I've made my way to the bridge. I see in the cameras that you're okay. Do you need an escort to the bridge? I feel that we should all gather together. There's been some new information revealed about the attacks.
I would like you to make me a roll. And which roll, I will let you know in just a moment.
Is it a communication role?
No.
I don't know. How do I want you to suffer?
No, it's not communications. This is, I need you to make a perception roll.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. That's an 11. Okay.
Yeah. Do I get any stunts? I don't know how this works yet.
No stunts. If you roll doubles.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah, +2. Yeah, that's a 13.
Nice.
If any of those first three numbers are doubles, you get.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, then you get stunt points. So with a 13, that's even better. Hearing your voice and hearing her name, she looks up, knowing exactly where the camera's at. Looks to you, well, at least to the camera. Puts her hand back, opens the door, and leaves. She says nothing. Having that moment with her staring into the camera, that doesn't quite look like the senator you know. Similar. Maybe too tall.
Is there a body in her room?
Yes, there is a body. But it looks like an OPA member.
Okay. Yeah, it looks
Tattooed.
like okay, so all right, it's very clearly not her. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, I believe that we might have a little bit of a situation. That was not Senator Martina.
I'd like to keep switching the cameras from her room, kind of following. Not her room, but
and you absolutely can.
I'm gonna be following her. Like every time she leaves, I'll switch the camera, so, like on like the biggest screen, so everybody can kind of like see it.
Eli, if you could be so kind as to tell Rex that we might have a little bit of a situation that will involve his talents in the breach.
I feel like now that you've been saying that, if you look out of the corner of your eye, Eli has been holding the walkie-talkie like off to the left side of your face with the button on while you've been talking the whole time, and then there's a click and sort of pulls it back.
Well, that's certainly one way to do it. You don't waste effort. I like that. I might have a job opportunity for you if you're so inclined to work with an Earthling, but that's neither here nor there. Can we get Rex on the camera? I want to see where he is and to make sure that he is safe.
I do that if I
Yeah,
can.
Kosh. Yeah, absolutely. Kosh, you have like full access, right? You've been working on just kind of wiping out the simulate OPA coding, right? And so you can have different screens, different hubs that are, you've got one camera, you're tabbing through and you're following where Senator Torres is walking. You are now also, you've got another screen that's pulled up that's following Rex on his path. And we will kind of like zoom right in through the camera on Rex. What are you doing? Where are you going?
What did the radio squawk out? Because they were holding the hand mic.
Basically, you probably would have heard Adrian saying something and not hearing a response, and then him telling Eli, requesting to get you to come back because we're gonna have company.
Oh, okay. He turns it down and continues on his path. There are 3 of you, and there's a lot more people the direction he's going, and at least one of you has a gun. So he assumes somehow you have it, or at least you can keep the door locked. And he continues down the hallway. So you would see him flicking past all the screens as he continues down towards wherever the passengers were, down a level below.
And you, unopposed, you're able to get there. The door is closed. It's very quiet.
From the perspective of the camera in that room that I saw, where is the terminal in relation to the door, in relation to these guys? So, like, if the door opened, where would these guys be?
Right. So,
wait, I got
door
a question
opens.
Before
Yes.
you answer that. He would see a terminal before he gets to the door. Like when he gets to the door, there's a terminal outside. Like
There's
you said?
yep, correct.
And there's a screen, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to do is I want to display the feed of inside to that terminal when
Smart.
he gets there.
Nice. Dope.
Perfect. You and you do that like an angel watching over you, Rex. The terminal screen bloop, turns on, and it's just the live camera feed of the inside of the room. So you're able to see the positioning of everybody. There is
Rex doesn't know where the cameras are, so he just like puts a thumb up and like lowers it down.
in another hallway. You're just like observing. You're watching it. It's just this. So you see almost like we see where you're standing, Rex, right? And the camera just kind of like does one of those like flip around, and you see one of the tattooed men face to face with you on the opposite side at another terminal right next to the door. He's working on something. The other gentleman who's all the way across, think of it like a big square, more like rectangular room. There again, think of it like an airport terminal. So there's just a bunch of chairs, right, all over the place. Obviously, people can strap down. There's places for like small like cargo holds, and then there are several doors at the very end that are areas for like emergency exits. All of the people though are pushed in the far right corner. So there's about, like I said, I think like 50 people that are there. There are about 12 dead bodies on the ground. Clearly looking civilians, maybe a couple of technicians that work with the ship. And just everybody's kind of pushed into this area. And there is another OPA member with their rifle pointing at them.
So,
keeping them at bay. Looking
through the terminal, can I see where the gunman is in relation to the door?
Right next to it. So if like, I'm the door.
Door opens.
I'm the door.
Yeah.
Door opens. Gunman here. You are also here, just on the other side.
Right. That guy's looking at a computer terminal, right?
Correct.
Where's the other guy who has the gun pointed at the civilians?
He is all the way in the back corner. His back is to the door.
Okay.
Off to the far right side.
Could I see him from the door? If the door opens,
yeah.
could I see him?
Yeah,
okay.
if the door opened, yeah, he'd be able to see
So
him.
I'm going to reach down to the walkie and just say into it. I don't know who has it at this point. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get in position. I need to count to 3 on camera. 3. And I will... You open the door? Yeah? And he, like, lets go, hoping for some kind of response.
Do you need anything on our end?
Just the door.
So,
Eli turns around. Kosh, do we actually have the door?
Yeah. Tell him to keep his eye. Tell him I'll give him the countdown.
Okay. So Rex is going to get in position, so that way, as soon as the door opens, he has the gunman that's in the back corner, in line of sight. Like, as soon as that door opens, he wants to start firing.
Can I, really quickly,
Yes.
can I overload the terminal in that the other person is working on and, like, spark it out?
Go ahead and roll. This will be very challenging, though. Rex, fire.
Okay.
So I'm gonna display a
I'm
countdown.
I'm waiting for, like, them to go through.
The
Because worst comes to
synchronicity.
worst, nothing happens, and it's not a huge problem. But on the off chance, it helps.
Juan
Once
Carlos. you were gonna
Yeah,
say
once I
something?
see Rex like get in position, I'm gonna send a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the terminal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm guessing it's like right there in front of, like, right next to the door.
Yeah, like red.
So he'll see, it'll just go.
Yep. Bloop, bloop. So he gets ready, and as soon as the door starts to open... Oh, that's a bad number. Those are low numbers.
Ooh.
How do I reroll? How do I
Oh.
how do I reroll? I got that Juan Carlos luck.
You can. Can you?
What are you talking about?
can't
The
you
ship is
use
mine.
fortune? Yeah,
Can I
Juan
use-
Carlos
can
definitely
you-
owes the ship right now.
I mean, yes, not last week. Can you use fortune to reroll? Is that a thing? You tell me, Gnome. You're the GM here.
I honestly don't know.
I don't know how to play
One
this
moment,
game.
please.
I don't know how to play this goddamn game.
Ability test. No, that's your focus.
I would, if possible. Oh, I can't do that. Never mind, because you already rolled. Ugh.
Spend fortune to eliminate some.
Shooty man luck go bad.
Does an 11 hit? By chance?
No, an 11 will not
Okay,
hit.
because my shit is still not right. It's still not taking into consideration my focus.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I don't know why. It wasn't doing that last
Yeah,
week
it
either.
doesn't. It won't. It's not doing it for me either.
okay. Yeah, no, an 11. Let me just double check. Yeah, nope, 11 will not hit them.
Let me see.
We'll figure it out. For now, I'm pretty.
You missed, son. You
Yep.
missed.
Yeah.
You fucking missed for now.
Yep.
This
yep.
is what happens when you leave the person you were supposed to protect to die.
So here's a
It
question.
happens every time, right?
I rolled infiltration to cause some shit to go wrong, and I rolled real
Yes.
goddamn high.
Yeah, you did.
21. So with the focus. So here's
With
what I
some
would.
4 stunt points.
6 of them. So what I would like to do is I'm gonna try to do my best to cover for the nonsense that just happened and make Rex's situation less garbo.
Wait, I got it.
Yeah.
Page 17. You can spend fortune points to increase the dice.
Hey,
Hey!
So I am going to spend 5, because you have to spend the number of dice. You have to spend the number of points equal to what you want the dice to be changed to. I'm going to spend 5 points, which is a
nice.
lot, to make my first dice a 5.
how many
Oh,
fortune points
nice.
do you have left?
Shut up, Gnome.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you were a shit ton last episode.
That's fine, because here's what's going to happen. I make my first die a 5, so I spend 5. I'm down
and
to...
you double up 5
I'm-
stun points.
I'm down to 4. And then I have 5 stun points.
Heck
There you go.
yeah.
All right, so figure out your stunts. Woo-hoo-hoo! This is why there are rules. Freaking love it.
Man, okay, so gun
So good.
stun points.
All right, so Eli, while
Yeah.
Rex is like almost like slow motion, right? We're watching him step up, and you just see like, poof, 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 as again, just precision aim into the back of this guy, completely unaware, right?
Yep.
What is it you're doing?
So I want to spend all my 6 stuff points on 2 instances of high-tech hustle. The one of the things I want to do is to I want to hack the lights in the room. I want to drop all the lights in the hallway and in the room except for 2 spotlights that show both targets in the room and drop Rex into shadow. Okay. And then I want to that's the first one in terms of lighting, and then the second one causes the terminal to like spark and overload and like pop, and I want the sparks to catch on, if I can, I want the sparks to catch and like either pop into the person's face because they're kind of bent over it, or catch part of like their sleeve on fire, so they have to deal with that.
Okay, excellent. Rex, do you know what you're using?
Yes. I have so many points.
I wanna. We're paused, right? The scene is paused as like the players are selecting their their actions.
It's the tactics mode in the like.
It's totally tactics.
Desperados.
Yep. This is XCOM right now. Yeah. And then once you figure it out, we're gonna push that play button and see how it unfolds.
Can I roll? When do you spend points in the mechanical narrative? Can I roll damage and see if this guy just dies?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll damage. You hit for sure.
14 points of damage.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
Relax.
Mike hits, but when Mike hits, it's death.
It's just, I mean,
what does that do?
With the fucking mass damage die too. Yeah, no, that kills him.
Okay, great. Fuck. Okay.
He'll drop.
Now I gotta relook. Is there a way? Like, I don't see. I want to just shoot the next guy.
So, how about this? Bear with me.
Yeah.
You want to take out the next guy, right?
Yeah, I sure do.
Cool. Do you trust me?
I do.
Great. I'm gonna eat your stunt points then.
All right.
We see Rex as the door shifts open again. This slow-mo scene as he comes. We watch him raise already in just three shots straight into the OPA member's back. He starts turning upon hearing the sound, right, of the door open, but he doesn't get far. He fires though until he can't fire anymore, dropping to the ground. We then see the terminal just spark off, causing a little electric surge into the fingers of the other OPA member who was typing away. He kind of like jerks back to start shaking his hands, like son of a. But he's moved almost right into your visage. Rex, seeing that, you immediately just slam. You lift the butt of the gun to slam him in the head, and as he drops, lower, boom, one shot.
Fuck yeah.
Straight through the head. He's gone.
Get
the lights
wrecked.
Having shut down, they made the targets incredibly easy for you to find and made you incredibly difficult to notice. However, you now have screaming and crying people in the dark, hearing gunfire. Panic starts to set in.
Do we see this? Oh, sorry.
It's hard to see. There were only 2 lights, one set on each of the agents, we'll say, the ruffians. Otherwise, it's dark. Eli, though, would you turn the lights back on as soon as you see them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so then the lights hop back on. You see Rex heading towards you, just a mass of people starting to run towards the door. A couple others are off into the back, trying to get the emergency exits to open, knowing that there are like emergency pods that way. So the people are kind of like splitting. Some want to leave to go elsewhere. Others are trying to just get into the escape pods.
Rex isn't the smartest tech boy, but he's gonna take a step back and like hit the exterior terminal in like a I'm just hitting buttons until this goddamn door closes kind of way. He's trying to make that door close before anyone can get out of there.
Seeing all the chaos and ruckus, Adrian would ask, "Are one of you able to get me to the comms in that room?" Eli, can you?
That's a great question, considering I busted the terminal in that room. Can I?
I mean, you might still be able to
Okay.
get like to do like the intercom system.
Okay.
Yeah,
Although
I just
comms are still kind of messed up, so it's
All right,
still
so
a
it's a
difficult
roll.
roll.
Cool.
Mhm.
I will try. Is what I'm going to do. Nope. That's a 10.
move aside, and I would like to try.
Oh boy.
I will say, just in
Yep.
case we have some craziness here, Rex does still have a walkie that
Yeah.
you can talk through.
Eli.
that.
Yeah. I think Eli like looks at the comms. They're not working, and then just hands
I'm
you
not-
the walkie.
I'm not trying to talk to Rex. I'm trying to talk to the people.
No, I know,
Hey,
but
with-
he can hear through the walkie though.
He's going to try to do the computer thing.
Eli's gonna wait, just like holding the walkie-talkie. Hey, there you go. Nice. It's a party of smart boys.
Plus 6 stunt points.
Drop-
boy.
Jesus
Drop
Christ.
that churn. Drop
Hey,
that churn.
hey, no, I love you.
Wait, you
You
have
want- you
4 in
got it?
tech?
Okay. Mhm.
Fuck me.
No,
Yeah,
it's
right.
intelligence.
It's just
I-
it's straight intelligence.
Oh, hold on, let me see about the stunts because I'm going to try and calm the people down first.
Get those communication stunts,
Mhm.
man.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I'm
what,
looking
yeah,
into.
yeah. Before you got 6 points. That's a lot. What are you going to use them on?
I'm
smart
trying
with
to.
them.
I'm trying to find the communication stunts, chase stunts.
You can use
Down there, the last page,
Yeah,
Last page.
or the
Yeah.
page above that. where it
social
says-
stunts.
or the page above.
The
it,
page
yeah.
above it
Yeah,
has
yeah, yeah,
attitude
so-
stunts as well, so you can change their attitude.
Mhm.
Okay, so I am going to try and. Oof,
God
boy.
damn. What could
Good.
go wrong?
Stuff.
Yeah, I am.
Adrian, step aside. I've got this.
Excuse me.
I am going to do oozing confidence.
Okay.
Okay.
Your action
What is that?
impresses. Your action impresses or fools all the right people. Gain 1 temporary reputation, honorific, or rank of membership for the rest of the session, or until you fail the next, or until you next fail a test relevant to this influence, whichever comes first.
I think that only works if you have reputation. Like,
Adrian Cox has reputation.
I'm the
He
goddamn
is
ambassador of
An
Earth.
ambassador of Earth.
I didn't
First
know
of
if it
all,
was
how
mechanical
dare
or
you.
not. I didn't know if it was mechanical or not. Like, reputation is a mechanical feature,
how
so I don't
how
know.
dare you, sir?
I don't know.
You dad.
Second of all, what gives you the right?
Listen, I have level 1 membership, okay?
And then I'm also going to use. So this is going to be all 6 of them. So I can't drop the turn, guys. Sorry.
That's okay.
Sway
Earn
the
it.
crowd. Your
Oh.
words affect one additional person of your choice. You may choose this stunt multiple times per roll, but if someone opposed your test, you can't expend the effect to anyone with a higher ability plus focus total than the original target. So yeah, I'm really just trying to get the people on my side and to calm the fuck down. So he's gonna go to the intercom and go. Hello, everyone. I know that the temptation to give in to fear is strong. I would ask you to stay in confidence, stay in bravery, and stay in intelligence. Running wildly will only lead you into the hands of our captors sooner rather than later. A man in that room just removed the 2 threats that we faced. Running and scurrying will only get you into the hands of people who would do you harm and away from the eyes of those who care for you. I am one of those that care for you. I am Ambassador Adrian Cox, and they want me. You are currently far away from me. Please stay that way. Stay in that room and stay safe. We will get through this. We will prevail, but only together.
And the people. Oh, sorry.
Since I stepped away to the restroom, did we make sure that broadcast only went into that room? Like not through the whole ship?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah. Eli had shifted the comms because we had a conversation about like the terminal. Like, could the stuff get through the terminal? There should still be an intercom system.
With a 20 on that roll, I'm sure it went wherever the fuck he
Yeah,
wanted it to
went
go.
wherever he wanted it to go. Yeah, brilliant. So the people, as they are just scrambling in chaos at this point, again, some pushing each other over. Rex, they're nearing you. What are you doing? Like, you're armed. There are people who are in panic, charging at you, and Adrian Cox's voice pops over the intercom. I'm curious, is like you have like a split second to react.
They're unarmed civilians. He
Yes.
lowers the rifle, and sort of like lets go of the hand grip and like holds the butt end of the rifle. So he's kind of holding it as like a barricade against himself, and he just holds it like this. In case any of them run into him, he can kind of shove them off of him, but he's not drawing down on anybody.
Great. So some of the people are still entering into like the escape pod, this section off in the back of the area, and there's a group of people who are like now like engaged with you, trying to get out there. They're yelling at you to let them out, and so one of them notices the tattoo on your neck and points, OPA, OPA. And a couple of people who are, again, like right in front of you, as Adrian's voice is kind of going over the intercom. Yes, we could do this together. We need to stand up. We can protect each other. Get slugged. Another hit, and another, as a swarm of scared, terrified civilians start taking you down to the ground, wrestling with you to get the gun from your hand.
Can I say no? Turns out, my highest stat is in fistfighting. So no one's taking me to the ground. I'm punching civilians in the face.
Adrian's just gonna call over the intercom. Please, no. I understand that he is OPA, but he is a good man, and this is not done by the OPA. Please.
I feel like the moment a hit came in, or the moment like the yell of OPA would come in, he would slide his hand down and click to safe, and then reach across and grab the rifle strap and just swing it backwards, so the rifle's like behind him. And then like the first hit comes in, and then I think he's back up and ready to throw some hands. H in chat, please.
Yes, H, hand check?
Yep.
Hand check, friends?
A pod of civilians about to catch these hands.
Well,
sorry.
No, go ahead. What's up?
I was gonna say, is there any chance I could try a communication role, because I have oratory as a focus? It says, you know how to work a crowd. If you fail a communication persuade test when trying to convince a crowd, not an individual, I can re-roll, but must keep the results of the second roll.
Because you have that skill already, and you rolled so damn high before, right? I'm not going to have you roll again. We're going to roll straight off of this. What is it that you're going to say to try to dissuade these people who are now just dogpiling Rex?
I will say, I am an Eartha ambassador, and I will stake my name that man that you are attacking is a good one. He is not of Earth. He is not of Mars. He is of the belt, and he is good. Not all OPA is bad, and if we devolve to such basic thinking, then we are no better than the people that we claim to consider enemies.
And it takes some convincing, but if we remember the mother who was cradling her child, still holding the limp form in her arms, makes her way over to the crowd of people just trying to tear apart Rex. She puts a hand on one of them and starts like pulling him away, having heard your words, having listened to them. Please stop, please. And like slowly, one by one, they'll kind of let off. Adrian, maybe, or not Adrian, Rex, maybe you got a couple pot shots into a couple, more aggressive folks. They got a couple good licks on you, nothing HP, damaging. But you are up, at least clear from the mob, as this woman holding her child in her arm is now standing before you. However, the camera shifts, and we watch the tall, fit woman in Martian uniform making her way into the cargo bay and up the ramp, through the bay hole, and into the opposing ship. The door closes. We see the clamps unseal themselves from the door. Adrian, Kosh, Eli, you now hear wow, 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 as there is a hull breach. Anything that isn't restrained or isn't held down in that cargo bay sucked out the vacuum. Every body gone, floating off into space. Any other type of cargo that had been pulled open or shifted around, pulled out. Any debris from the door having been blasted in. Some parts of the terminal that had been ripped out into the vacuum of space. And we're going to watch as this small vessel flies off. And the camera kind of shifts again, slowly panning through the darkness of space. And it's going to rest on the U.S. compass rose, the UN compass rose. We see another portion of it. Flames for a moment, only to suck back in. This space has no oxygen for fire to spread. The panels once again blaring now, red alert alarms going all over the place. A secondary explosion. All the lights power down. And we're going to end there tonight.
Son of a bitch.
I told them not to run.
God dang it.
Okay, all right. Well, that was episode 2.
God damn it.
Shit.
I mean, they're still alive. The people are still alive because Rex is there, and Rex isn't dead yet. So the people are still alive, as far as we know. That was episode 2, called Frame of Reference. That was a chaotic shit show. We hit 5 corruption bars. We have a confirmed Daisy one-shot starring Little Red Dot. That will be announced later, time and date announced later.
Yeah, check that.
So stay tuned. Join the Discord. That's going to be the first place that's going to be notified of that, followed by the Twitter. Boy. If you guys like what you saw here, support us. Go down to our Patreon. Join the Patreon. There's all kinds of cool shit, to include the after show that we're going to film right after this, where we decompress and talk about our thoughts and feelings on what we liked about this game. With that, we're going to go around, do our introductions, and get the hell out of here. Let's start with Noir Enigma. Noir, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I am sad. No, I'm Noir. You can find me on all the socials as Noir Enigma. That's your Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, because I do the music, but not Twitch because I forgot the password. So on Twitch, you can find me at Noir Enigma 1. Yeah, I know, right? On Thursdays, you can find me here. On Saturday mornings to be specific, you can find me over at Critical Misses. We have a morning show, morning ritual. We're gonna have with a brick on, so that's gonna be fun. It's me, Panita, with a brick. On Sundays, you can find me over at Chromatic Chimera. We have a Call of Cthulhu game where we're hunting an eldritch chipmunk. And on Wednesdays, you can find me at Last HP Hero, where we're doing a Curse of Strahd game, where I went to Barovia to Fist Fight of the Mortal, and now I have a dog and a child. So that happened. That's me.
Wow. That's a hell of a time. Let's jump over to John. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hey, so you can find me on pretty much only Twitter nowadays, social media-wise, at RY0, MASA, Ryamasa with a 0, because somebody has my name. I want it back. But you again, Thursdays 8 p.m. EST. You can find me here for Entanglement. Saturdays normally you can find me from 4 to 7 p.m. EST on the Thick Notes Twitter, which is a sea shanty and folk songs for fantasy games channel with me and my friend Josh. We're both big music nerds, and so we write parodies and lyric rewrites so that you don't have to keep referencing England in your fantasy world. That one is currently we're a bit up in the air on that one, just because there's a lot of stuff going on in life, as it were. So keep an eye on the Thick Notes Twitter, ThickNotez. Also, this Saturday, very special, I'm doing a one-shot on the Dungeons & Asians podcast. I don't know what they're renaming themselves to, because they've switched systems recently, but we are doing a one-shot for Amar's character will lead to kind of jump into their backstory and see where they've come from. And I'm going to be in that one shot on Saturday. I think it's at 12 p.m. EST.
Hell yeah.
I want to say.
Dope.
But check it out.
Cool. Let's jump over to Sombrero. Juan Carlos, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hi, y'all. I'm Juan Carlos, and as Mike said, yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sombrero. And this Sunday, or all Sundays, normally I play Sunday Friends on the Open for Adventure channel, where I play an elvish twin with your favorite Eris Savad, and we try to figure out why the gods are fucking with us so much, basically. On not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after next, I'm going to be premiering a short campaign in my homebrew world called Modern Gods Inheritance, in which our space Poppy is not going to be the Poppy. I will be the modern Poppy, and I get to screw with him. But anyways, you can find us there. It's a world where it's this modern world where all the humans disappeared, and now we have fantastical creatures and elves and crazy stuff like that. Other than that, I produce a podcast called The Roleplay Cafe, where two lovely ladies, Pixel Cat and GM Dax, interview people from the community and quiz them about stuff they have nothing to know about. So that's basically me.
Hell yeah. Dope. And today, last but definitely least, the arbiter of our sadness, Gnome, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Well, hi. Thanks for playing today, friends. My name is Gnome. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Nomedic. I'm normally not mean.
Not publicly.
Except tonight, on Thursdays. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Can reluctantly and sadly confirm.
Yeah. How was Game Hole Con? Yeah.
It was so lovely meeting you. You were so nice.
We're gonna play some really cute and wholesome games together, Noir. I'm so excited.
You were wrong. Turns out.
Is this wholesome enough? Anyways, I'm here Thursday nights and I fucking love it. You can catch me tomorrow over on the Cantrip Breakers channel, where I run a group of Twitch streamers through the Lost Mine of Phandelver, which is a favorite can campaign, and they are doing some wild stuff with it, which is great. That is at 1 p.m. Eastern time, because they're all European, so it's hella late for them. So perfect for me. It's great. Love it. Come join us then. Also, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, you could catch me on my own Twitch channel with Air Savad, where we have a talk show in the morning where it's basically just us literally waking the fuck up and making sure that you are also waking the fuck up. So grab a cup of coffee or fill a cup with whatever the heck you want. come stop on by. We occasionally have guests on Wednesdays. This week we had Shauna, Flying Cirrus, who was just wonderful and a delight to chat with. And we got a couple other stuff coming up. Juan Carlos, weren't you also on? You were also on. You were out here.
I was. I'm glad that I was that forgettable, but it's cool.
You know...
And that's still not the meanest thing that happened to you today.
I know, right? Damn, no.
Well, with all of Gnome's wholesomeness completely shattered to the void now that we know that he's just a straight up jerk. Saturday mornings here on unMadeGaming, you guys can check out the Arise and Grind morning show where we do the same thing. I wake up and I bullshit about. Last time we talked about ketchup on eggs. But also Saturday, 4 o'clock, shut up, Gnome. Saturday, 4 p.m. this Saturday, we're doing our Patreon-only one-shot in my homebrew world for Tales from the Loop called Glenbrook 1985. So be sure to come check that out. But that's it. We will see you next week. We're going to go film our after show available on Patreon. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Bye.